Hello everybody, welcome back to Gothic Fails to Find the Logic in Level 7 Puzzles. Hopefully not too much of that to come. Right, where are we next? Oh, do we dare do some Gemini and Deltas? We probably should, shouldn't we? Alright, well there's only a 3. Shape Bank, Gemini Delta. Well, I mean, this is either a 3 and a 3 or a 2 and a 2. And that would be a 2 and a 2 and a 3. And a 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1 is not going to go. So what if this was a 2 and a 2 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 and a 2 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 and a 3. Okay. What's happened here? Let me just see. This is 6, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so this has to be a 3 and a 2. So it's either this or the inverse. And then we can just kind of build off of that. So if this is 3, this is 2. If this is 2, this is 3. That would be 3, that would be 2. That would be 3, 2, 2, 2. There you go. Okay. Are there any that... There must be some of these that I didn't do originally. It says that there's 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 5th one. You in there? Yeah. Right. Shape Bank. I guess we're going to see a lot of Shape Bank just because it's one of the few mechanics that we already had up to this point, because this is very early in the islands. So here's the interesting thing about this, I guess, is that, excuse you, with this Shape Bank, every tile is going to be this. So that all breaks then, as we've gone round in a circle. So, is there some good place to start? Well, I guess up here, we can't do this. But we also can't do this. Which means what's left is probably some version of this. Now, if this is the long side, I think what I'm realizing is that I don't think either here or here the long side can be presented against a Gemini and a Delta. Does that stand to reason? So, it works for the top half. Then this would have to cut over to there. Whether it goes up or down, I don't know. That matches for there. That's going to do that. Then... Are we getting there? Are we close? Yeah. That wasn't so bad for a 4. So that leaves us with 4 more puzzles. We have 4, 5, 6, 6. Give me the 4. So, Shape Bank of this and this. Well, I think this has to be part of a T, right? Because if any part of it was an L, we leave something not in the Shape Bank. So, we've got T, T, T. So, this has got to be T. This has got to be L. This has got to be L. This is equal to that. So, that's got to be L. That finishes the T. That's going to be L, which means this has to be L, which means this T tidies up that way. I'm just thinking about how we fill out this corner. It might have to be like that. Right, I'm gonna undo that just because I was making some assumptions there and I couldn't cleanly get everything done all in one fell swoop. So this is going to be an L. It can't do that because we can't have this shape. So I think that has to be right. But then we do just get back to here. That has to be different. So I'm back to this now with a little more working through. I just don't know how I'm going to get this to be an L. Well, that's a T? Question mark. All right, that works out. First thought, best thought. 5. Bigger shape bank. Just got to think about where we are beginning. Well, this can't do that. Because, I mean, I could do that. Obviously, this cell is quite restricted. This has to come out because there's no single tile shapes. That also has to come out. Down here, what are the realistic ways that we could fill this 2x2? I think it would have to be this in some version. Obviously, that could go on the opposing edge. If this did this, this would have to be different. That would have to match it. But now, there's no way for me to fill in this 2x2 space. Actually, before even that, whatever goes in here has to match on the opposing side. Can't be the T, obviously. If it's this, we can do that. If it's some version of this or this, well, it can't be that, it would be this. There's no way to do this 4 long piece out like that. So, we get to here for our start. This can't be this, but we need to get this out. So this will be this shape. And then this has to be this shape. Which orientation it is, we don't know. But that leaves this as being a T, because it's the only thing left that will fit there. Now, to get this tile, this also has to be a T, which means that has to be that. Now, how do we keep building downwards here? Because obviously we could do this, we could do this. Like, there are realms where that will continue to work. So maybe it's time to look at this lower left section. What we learned about this here is that we, over the span of this, all 3 shapes need to be present. So over the span of this, we need to have A, B, C, and then A again. Because we had T, Z, stump, and stump. So in fact, it would have to be A, B, C, or CB. So earlier on we hypothesized about how we're going to get the corner piece. It has to be the long one. If the long one goes this way, we can't do that. So I think that leaves us with this option. Whether it's this or this, well, we can't go around that corner. So that's that. If that's a T, that does this. Then that's a T. Very nice. See, Gemini Delta is not so scary. That was a 5. I guess it was a 5 very early in the game, except was there a crimson pedestal? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to keep taking the good wins as they come. I'm not going to complain about them. Shall we do the crimson one first, and then this little pagoda one last? Oh my. Alright. Well, there's only going to be so many ways we can fill this center section, right? It's 11, so I think it's going to be a 4-4-3, because there's nowhere we can fit the 5 in here without leaving something bad. Question is then, is it this way? Is it this way? It leaves a lot of questions. Obviously, these little corners are full of sections that can be filled out with these pieces. But it's figuring out, where do we actually begin in all of this? It's like we could do that and then this. Okay, well, let's look at these corners. There's a few of them. Let's do them in red. So this and this and this and this and this. So all of these sections, we have to have nothing that cuts around a corner. So none of our shapes can be like this, because this would be diametrically broken, trying to be different and the same at the same time. That feels like it's going to be important. Now, we also know that this, let's get out of red here, blue, this, and this all have to exist. It's just about how do we build them up stronger. I know you don't need to tell me that these shapes can't exist the way they are. Also down here, this is going to have to take a corner left or right. Can't be the big chunky guy. I'm going to get rid of those just so I don't have to keep looking at those lines. So whichever shape this is, it's going to be the same on left and up and different on the right. So it could go like that. Which means then that can be the same, that can be the same. That can all be the same. that can be different like that. Now, is there actual logic to this, or have I just started colouring, or am I just having good intuition? Nobody knows. It's near impossible to know. I mean, you could know if you use the button up here, but we're not going to do that. So that can fill out like that. Can we do something over here with the rest of what we've got? 11 tiles. That was too easy. For a 6. A 6 in one of my least favorite mechanics. Goodness. Okay, last one. Amazingly. And then we get another window. Well, I like the shape bank restriction here. That makes this feel not so bad. Immediately, I see that this is going to be too wide. So this is going to be, well, it's not 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. This could be 2 by 2, and then this could be this or similar. So not that simple. So where is our most restricted thing? This must be 3 wide because it can't be 2 wide with 1 left. So if it's 3 wide, it must either be this or this. So that's a line, that's a line, that's a line. And this is fuzzy. And now he's staring back at us. I think I'll call him Gregory. Hello, Gregory. Okay, up the top here. This is 2. Can't go to 3. Because then, well, I mean, it could hypothetically do that, and then this would have to be different. Oh god, that could be that way, couldn't it? Part of me is just like, just colour it in from here. Trust your gut. Go with it. See what happens. But I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. So, problem is this could be here. It could be there. It could be there. Okay, well, this is 4 wide. Can't exist as 4 wide. And can't exist as 3 wide. Because then nothing could fit in this gap. So, that tells us something interesting. I think we have to say goodbye to Gregory, because I think what that tells us is that this shape exists, and this shape borders it. And then this is going to be either this or fuzzy to be longer. I think that's correct, which is a nice place to start. So now, this could be 3 by 3 big. It could be 2 by 2 there, 3 by 3 here, because the rest of the spacing does allow for it. Let's get off these greens that I don't need to be working with anymore. It's giving a lot of options. A lot of, oh, so many options. This currently is 33. 9, 18... Well, we can't fit many 3 by 3s in here. I'm just wondering if we can divide what we've got left by what shapes are available to make this be more specific in what we're reaching. Because now we have this kind of penned-in corner. But 33... 9, 18, 27, and 6 can hypothetically go. We can't fit multiple 3x3s in here, though. We can fit one 3x3 in. Then this is 24. 6, 12, 18, 24 would fit. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 would fit. If I fill this out, 22... 6, 12, 18, 20... Yeah, that would fit as well. Oh, boy. That doesn't narrow it down very much for me. Where else can we go? Like, this is at least 2x2 wide from this point, which means that is at least 2x2 wide from that point. Well, that's actually taught me something good, which is that if this goes this way to a 3x3 or a 3x2 that way, we can't fit this in here. So that line's going to appear there and here, because while we could do... Oh, excuse you. While we could do this, we can't use that space either. So those two are that with some ambiguity here and here. Now, hypothetically, this could do this and reach out, except now we can't get to those. But it could be between here, 7. Could be 4, 4, 3. Yeah. And this is 7 wide as well. What I do know at least is that that has to do this. And that line must exist. That line there is going to be there. Now, this has to be different. This has to be the same, but whether it shifts up or down at all is an unknown. Just feels like I'm getting very little small threads here. When you compare this puzzle to how we flew on this puzzle, like maybe we didn't fly that quickly off the beginning, but it felt like there was loads of logic to be deduced in all the corners that were present here. Whereas this feels like there's a lot less going on. I mean, we can do some more stuff. We know that this piece must be attached to that, and that this piece must be attached to that, and that these must be at least 2x2 each, and one of them is going to be bigger than this. That's true. Which means we can do the same thing here, except these are both going to be the same. They might be bigger than this, we don't know. We've seen the same thing for this here as well. Where do we go now? So, we have... I can't draw over here, can I? I wish I could. We have 4s, 6s, and 9s. So, this is either a 4 or a 9. This is also either a 4 or a 9. Now, looking at these two strips, we know this can't be a 3x3 because it would put these as being equals and opposites. So how are we going to get this string of Geminis and Deltas to go? It feels like it's going to be some version of this, so that that can be a 9, and then this can be something that's not this. So that would have to be... Oh, it would have to be another 9. So it can't be another 9 when this is touching it. So how can we do this how can you be the same as you, but different than this and this and this and this? Right? There's something there to extract, for sure. So you have to be an A, and you have to be an A. You can be an A, and you can be an A, and that would be valid. Which would be something like this, but then we obviously leave this gap here, which is no good. It can't be a 3x3 because this can't collapse down the lane. I'm desperately trying not to just confirm all of my minor deductions with the check progress button until I'm like really stuck. I want to find the logic here. So this cannot be a 3x3 because this cannot be a 3x3. It's not allowed. So that means this is either a 4-6 or a 4-6 because it cannot be a 9. Obviously, this is a 6, this is a 6, and I'm happy with those. We've just decided this can't be a 9, right? Because that can't happen with this next to it. Therefore, I believe this is part of a 4. It can't be a 4 there, so it has to be a 4 here. Well, could be a 9 there, couldn't it? If that was a 6, and that was a 4, and that was a 4, and that was a 6, that does go that way. Now, here's something annoying. If we look at this space that remains, if that was locked off, it would have to be 4, 4, 6, but we could easily swap this for the 4 and this for the 6. So that 5x2 can't exist without any other... Like, this 5x2 can, because these are beholding it to other rules. Would that mean this has to be a 6? Is there a way then that this can't have mixed symmetry because nothing else can fit there? Alright, let's stick some save states in here. And if it all goes terribly wrong... I mean, I shouldn't save state this because I don't know that this is necessarily correct yet. Well, here's a good thing. This can't be a 4. This can't be a 6. Therefore, the whole thing is a 9. That has to be a 4. That means that has to be a 4. This can't be a 4. It can't be a 9. Therefore, it's a 6. And that is a pair of 4s. Now, I don't know if this is a 6-4 or a 4-6. I'm assuming that because of the nature of the space beneath, it's going to become fixed. But I hope that that is not something that's going to offer multiple solutions. Though I'm scared now. That line exists. We don't know how this and this compare. Where else can we go? If this is a 9, there is nothing that stops this being a 6-4 pair or a 4-6 pair. And therefore it would have 2 solutions. So this can't be correct. And I hate that. I hate that a lot. Well, maybe that's a 9. But it still stands. No, yeah, if that's a 9, this has to be a 4, that has to be a 4, this has to be a 6. That's one way we can escape unique solutions. Which is interesting. Which means this can't be a 4. Could be another 9. But then this gets really... could be. What about up here? I don't know if this is a 6-4 or a 4-6 yet. This can't be the 6 because these need to be different. So that's the 6, that's the 4. That means the 4 can be different from the 6 and the same as the 4. We could do that, and then that, and that. God, I hope this is correct. That leaves this having to be 2x2. That has to be 2x2. That has to be 2x2. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This can't do that and leave the 1. Oh no. This math ain't mathing. Wait. It is mathing! Oh my god. I'm so happy. I'm so glad I didn't abandon that then when I thought it wasn't going to work out. Gosh, if I could order really high quality lenticular prints of some of these that like dapple in the light, I'd consider doing it for my studio, honestly. Bask in the glory of the gemmed Gemini and Delta window. Is that number... is that 5 or 7? God. That's 7. 3 more to do. Well, I must say, I am pleasantly surprised with that progress. So, we've got the opener done. Bridge. Overlook. Gemini and Delta. Shape bank. Then we have 1 left to do on roses, which is a story unto itself for later. That's all the shape bank stuff, I guess. Then we've got mingle, polyominoes, and precision left down here. bunch on the forest trailhead. That'll be interesting because that's like a bunch of mixed mechanics, isn't it? And then further yonder. For now, thank you guys ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.